Welcome back, guys. Today we'll be taking a look at changing the rear differential on the Honda Ridgeline. This can be applied to the 06 and 14 models for this generation. Before we begin, I just want to emphasize on safety. Please always use jack stands at all times when you're underneath a car at any moment. What's going on right here is I'm trying to break loose the fill bolt with a breaker bar, and it's not exactly working out too well. Mind you, this is winter. Everything's just seized up and frozen. So as you can see later in the video is that I just gave up on using a breaker bar and just went and used a power tool, an air gun to loosen it up. And you can see that even the air gun is struggling to loosen that fill bolt up. So I definitely emphasize on breaking loose the fill bolt before you even try to attempt to drain the differential. You don't want to drain it and then you can't fill it back up. Worst case scenario. Right now you're seeing how easy it is to break loose the drain bolt. So as tempting as it is, do not break loose the drain bolt first. So what you see right here is the fluid looks still pretty good. It's pink red. You don't want it to be burnt. It seems like I do have some life left in the fluid. Right now you're seeing the drain plug with the magnetic end to it. The purpose of that is to attract all the metal particles in your differential to the drain plug to prevent buildup in the gears. Now you're supposed to change these fluids every 15,000 miles. In this case, it's only been a year, and my plug looks almost clean. Almost didn't need to be changed at all. So you can probably get away, not changing it for maybe 20,000 miles or so. Here's something to think about. I looked it up online, see how much these differentials replacement cost, and the part alone costs $4,500, which is insane. So, it doesn't seem that expensive to change the fluid every 15,000 miles. So, I think these VTM fluid go for like 30 bucks a gallon. And what I'm using right now is a pump. You can get at AutoZone anywhere, any auto shop for cheap. I got mine for 10 bucks. It takes some time, especially because it's cold. Ideally, you want to change this during the summertime when the fluids is warmed up and it's easier to pump. Due to the weather, it's like syrup. It was kind of hard to pump. So there's two methods to doing this when you pump the fluid back in. There's no exact way to measure due to a lack of a dipstick. You can either measure the amount that came out or just top it off. Just keep pumping until it drips over and then you just cap it. Either way works. I managed to squeeze out 2.8 quarts from measuring what came out. Now again, as I mentioned before, due to the weather, the fluid was very thick. When I kept pumping it, and actually the tube came off the nozzle, and I sprung a leak basically. Highly recommend you doing this in the spring, summertime, maybe even fall, but not winter. Now here's the easy part, putting everything back together. This is probably the best moment doing this project right here, is getting it over with. So I'm just hand tightening the fill bolt, and for the torque specs on these two plugs, I believe they're 33 to 35 foot-pound for both of them. Between 33 and 35. It's not too picky. You can change your washers if you want. Me, I tend to use them two or three times before I end up replacing them. I think they're like 30 cents online, but if you go to a Honda dealership, they're going to charge you $2 per washer. So that's that. What I'm doing right now is I'm using a brake cleaner to basically clean up all the fluid that leaked it out. I just want to make sure that the exterior of the differential is clean as possible. So if there's ever a leak sprung, I know exactly where it's coming from. So there's no stains on the differential itself. So that's kind of my habit on anything, even with the oil pan, transmission. Same thing with this. So it's just one of the things that I've just learned over the years. That's pretty much concludes this video. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment below. Thank you.